Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Lost Legion. It seems like we haven't recorded in a while. I think it's our schedules kind of like conflicted, and we just went 2 weeks, I think, potentially. But how you guys doing?
Doing pretty well.
What's going on, Jose?
Just
How about you?
living,
Living the dream.
living the dream.
Kind of a bit of a news that dropped that in the 2 weeks that we were kind of on hiatus. Shatterpoint, number one, the rule book dropped. Did any of you guys get a chance to read it?
No,
I just kind of glanced through it.
Yeah, I kind of glanced through it as well, and I was more or less, I'm not a book reader. Like, I can't put pen to paper if I'm reading a book. Like, I have to like be doing it in order to learn it. That's the best way I learn. So that's why I'm just kind of like, it's there. Hopefully someone comes out with TTS mod so I can get ahead of the ship, but we'll see about that. They did reveal General Obi-Wan Kenobi. He looks bonkers. He's got some skills. He's got 10 health, stamina's 3, and yeah, we'll go over it. He's 2012 Force user, Galactic Republic, and a Jedi. One of his abilities, hello there. When this character unit moves or jumps, if it does, that character adds 3 dice to his next attack roll during this activation. Seems pretty solid.
That one costs a force, right?
Yeah, it does cost a force to use it. So uncivilized is the next ability. And since I don't know the lingo yet, I don't know these icons yet. I know we went over it, but I just haven't memorized it. This costs a force ability. And it says when a character in this unit is targeted by a range attack, this unit may use this ability. This unit gains a hunker token after the attack resolved. If the attack roll contains one or more failed results, the attacker unit suffers 3 wounds. And I think that's huge. That's
like a deflect.
it is, but it isn't. It's like what's Vader's card? Fear and Deadman, where you roll a blank and then you just hit them, right? This is like, oh, if I fail one of these, like if I get all my saves, awesome. If I fail one, you get hurt too. So that's super cool. I like that. Patience is the next one. When you reveal this unit's order card, if you have an order card in reserve, you may put that card on the top or the bottom of your order deck. If you do, put this unit order card in reserve. When this unit's order card is put in reserve, one character in this unit may recover 3 health and I think a force jump or just jump. Wow, that seems super good.
That does seem pretty solid.
And the last ability is Knowledge and Defense. Ally units do not lose their hunker tokens when they become engaged and can gain and have hunkers while they are engaged. While an allied Galactic Republic unit has 1 or more hunker tokens, it adds 1 die to its defense rolled against an attack, melee attack. After an attack targeting a character is in an allied Galactic Republic unit is resolved, that character's unit may remove all its hunker tokens. If it does, one character in this unit may recover for each hunker removed. Then each character that recovered or gets a health back may make a dash move. I don't know about you guys, but Obi-Wan, assuming I don't know how the game's played yet, seems really, really good.
It seems like it's a lot of word salad though. But I'm pretty sure like if you threw down like a Legion book in front of somebody who had no idea what Legion is, it's the same thing. So like everything you read off just sounds like a lot of things happening at once. That probably is gonna be relatively simple when you actually play the game.
Well,
most of the stuff isn't going to come into play at the same time, right? Because his first 2 abilities are things that he chooses to trigger, and then one of them is a reaction, so those can't even happen at the same time. And then, so I think there's a lot there, but it mostly only matters for the person who's playing it, and you only will trigger like one thing at a time, and it's pretty straightforward. Like his pseudo deflect is a lot of words, but at the end it's like, oh, it's pseudo deflect. That makes sense.
Well, my ability that I like the most is the patience one, because as this game is all about random, like this is just huge to put your card aside for free. You don't use anything to do it, and then you heal on top of that. I think the knowledge and defense is going to be pretty good too. Which brings me to my next thing is they also revealed the 104th Wolfpack Troopers. 8 health, 2 stamina, Clone Trooper, Galactic Republic Trooper, Wolf Pack. I like that, Wolf Pack. Run and gun, you have to spin a force. Each character in this unit may dash. If any character dashes, this unit immediately makes a focus action. And then it's coordinated fire. When another allied Galactic Republic character makes an attack as part of a combat action, before dice are rolled, this unit may use this ability. If the target character is within 5 of the character in this unit, that target gets, I want to say the fire symbol. I don't know what it is yet.
Oh, that's the one where that's strain. So they take
Yeah.
3 damage when they do an action. So it basically forces them to recover if they don't want to take more damage.
That seems really good. The last ability is Pack Hunter. When a character in this unit makes a melee attack, targeting an enemy character that is engaged with another allied clone trooper character, it adds 2 dice to the attack roll. Seems pretty
Oh,
good.
that was an interesting one because you don't really think of clones as melee units, but
Yeah, which is interesting because if I'm not mistaken, the other stuff that's been revealed, they don't have a melee attack. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
I think
overthinking that.
everyone has a melee
Yeah,
attack.
everyone would have to have a melee attack.
Yeah, you're right. I'm overthinking it. It's the range
There's
one.
some Jedi that don't have range.
Yeah, it's the range one. So super hype still on this game. It's slowly, surely coming our way. How is your guys' hype scale on this still?
It's still pretty
average.
high for me. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, I mean, none of the stuff that they've released has really been that surprising. None of the information that they came out with. I haven't gotten a chance to look through the whole rule book yet. I glanced through. I was interested in how the card cycling works, like when you get your force powers back. So I read that part, and that seems pretty cool. What was interesting to me was that when someone dies, you take their card out of rotation. But what that means is you're going to be getting your force abilities back sooner. So there's almost some incentive for your opponent not to kill. Like, I don't want to kill your clones because then Anakin's going to go twice as much, you know?
Oh yeah, that makes
So that
sense.
was kind of a weird thing that I'm interested to see how that plays out.
The one thing I don't like, and this could just be me not knowing how the game plays, is it seems like there's a lot of moving in this game. And I know we've mentioned that before. And I just want to kill things. That's all I really want to do until I learn the game, and then I'm going to start playing the objective. But yeah, seems.
I think stuff will die pretty quick. Based on what I'm seeing here, like the attacks seem pretty strong. And it's like, oh, you hit a clone for 8 twice and then that they're gone. And it's like, oh, that doesn't seem that hard.
Well, not if you have General Obi-Wan Kenobi, man. This guy seems bonkers. I'm excited for him. He does look good that he get paired with another Force user, which I think will be amazing. Any more comments on Shatterpoint before we move on to actual Legion stuff? All right, so guys, we got Ahsoka's cards.
Blech.
Let's start with Ahsoka's 3-pip and see what we all think. So her 3-pip is called A New Beginning. It's Ahsoka and 2 units. At the start of Ahsoka Tano's activation, she recovers. Jose, do you hear that? She recovers.
I know. I owe Daniel $20, so I gotta wait for Ewoks to get their core trooper, and then you could pay Daniel.
or you just be down $40.
Oh no!
When Ahsoka Tano issues an order to a small base trooper unit, that unit gains either 1 aim or 1 dodge token. Ahsoka Tano gains Inspire 2. What do you guys think of this card?
It's fine. It gives out a good amount of orders, and then she has her defend. So then that combos pretty well. I don't know. It's like, it's not an amazing card. It's just fine.
I feel like, yeah, I like it, and I feel like you pair this up with Rebel Troopers. I think she does really good with Rebel Troopers. What do you think, Jose?
I don't know. I think if you run it, you're gonna run it with vets. Dude, Rebel Troopers are just in a bad spot right now. Veterans offer so much more, and then they come with defend. So, that's helping them out. You're passing those dodges out too to them from their defend 1.
I feel like if you do run them with Rebel Troopers, you give them the captain, and then you give them situation awareness, and then they get nimble, right? So you have to get 4 through just to get 1 on the Rebel Troopers.
But where we're
Or
at
2
in the
crits.
game right now, so where we're at in the game right now, dice pools can get big fast.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like nimble on Rebel Troopers isn't what Nimble on River Troopers was back before all the insanely high dice pools came out.
Do you guys think, this is my hot take, I think there's too many big dice pools now, and I feel like that's ruined the game a little bit.
Maybe. I don't know. Big dice pools are nice for some things. I feel like the dodge spam made big dice pools have to exist. I think the real shame is that big dice pools suck for heroes because it feels really bad if your hero gets one shot. Like honestly, if my rebel troopers get one shot by an ATST or even by dark troopers, that's not a big deal. That's fine thematically. But if like my Luke does, that's kind of where things are sad. I don't know how you would do it, but I kind of wish there was a way that like big dice pools didn't affect heroes as much. Just because
Yeah.
like those big centerpieces when they go down, it feels bad.
Well, let's just be honest. The only person that we're really worried about, and that, in my opinion, that's the best, biggest dice pool, are the Dark Troopers, and they're just so strong. Like I'm starting to feel like everybody felt like when I was playing CIS, like I just can't do anything. What do I do? You know, unless I spec into them, right? Then it's more manageable. But even then, we'll get to my game. We'll get to my games. All right, moving on to one of her 2-pips because she's got 4 cards and she has 2-pips. Family Reunion. This is to Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren. Ahsoka Tano gains Teamwork Sabine Wren. At the start of Ahsoka Tano's activation, Sabine Wren may perform a Speed 2 move. At the start of Sabine Wren's activation, Ahsoka Tano may perform a Speed 2 move. What do you guys think?
This is a great card.
You staple burst on Ahsoka, so when you go with your actual move, you went speed 5 essentially.
I dig it because like if you're giving this to Ahsoka has defend 1, so already Sabine gets a dodge and she has nimble. And then in my opinion, I think you position Ahsoka like a speed 2 away to engage a unit, then go with Sabine, and then that would proc a charge attack off of Ahsoka, and then Ahsoka take her turn and do another attack against something else if she wanted to.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. It could also work in reverse because oh yeah, no, she doesn't have charge, huh?
Yeah.
Her Darksaber is worse than everybody else's. I forgot. Like, oh, take the Darksaber, you get charging. Oh nope, that's not how that works.
Nope.
Yeah, she doesn't even have steady. Yeah, so it's not. It's, in my opinion, that's the best way you do it. But yeah,
I think you use that if you're gonna try to use it to benefit Sabine. You're using it to set up explosions on the next turn.
Yeah,
because she's speed 3. She gets a free speed 2, and then you double move your speed 3 and then set up explosions for the next go.
I mean, it's also just nice because she isn't long range. So getting that extra speed 2, that could help you close if people are trying to be cagey at range 4.
Yeah, especially with Gunslinger.
I see a lot of times that you want to get an extra free speed 2 move on Sabine.
It's really good for force users too. So I think it's pretty good. It sucks that like it's a teamwork card because like it means you have to run Sabine, but I mean it's not a bad teamwork card. Like it's not bad. Sabine and her, I think it go really well.
I mean, you don't have to run Sabine. You could just take this card. It's just not a good card then.
I feel like you're shoehorned into running Ahsoka with Sabine, period, and that's the only way she's good, in my opinion. We can elaborate on that later, but Sabine and Ahsoka are bust. Sabine and Ahsoka are bust, dude.
No, because like that's what
there's nothing Ahsoka offers on her own that's impressive enough to make me think like she's gonna be an issue. I mean, you want to spend all your dodges to crit a unit out of existence? Okay, cool. So then now you're open when you wouldn't have been, and now you have no dodges. I could live with that. I'm telling, dude, it's not just me. If you're
Let's go through the other 2 cards and then we can talk about it.
Are you listening to all the podcasts that cover Ahsoka?
Hold on. Okay, so look at you not taking a minute. You're right. We got to go over the command cards. The next 2-pip is Swift Protector. It's only Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano gains Guardian 2. When another friendly small base trooper unit at range 1 of Ahsoka Tano is declared as a defending unit, it may gain a dodge token. Yeah, I like this card a lot.
I think this might be her best card. This card's really good.
Yeah. Especially like if you have a bunch of rebel troopers and then they get a dodge, then they have nimble, and then if you shoot at them again, they just get dodges. Like, yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, but this also works if you have her charging in with Sabine, right? Because they both
Mm.
dive in, and then Sabine gets the dodge when Sabine is attacked, even in melee. This doesn't say a range attack. It's just
Oh, you're
defending.
right. Yeah. Even
So,
with
I
OP
mean,
Luke.
and or with OP Luke, with anybody who wants to get in, I like this card a lot. I think this card is really, really good. Has a lot of interesting uses.
Yeah. And in a faction that loves dodges, like I just see it doing really well. Her last one, and this seems to be the controversy card because some people love it, some people hate it. Is our one pip, I am no Jedi. Gives it to Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano gains Agile 1 while attacking during the form attack full step. Ahsoka Tano adds 1 white die to her attack pool for each dodge token that she has to a maximum of 3. I think this card's really good. Other people don't.
It's good. It's
It's
good.
good, but I mean, you got to compare it to other people's one pip. You get a Force user one pip, you're expecting it to be really, really good. And I think this is good, but
This
like
is
it's
really
worse than
good.
Luke's. It's worse than Vader's. It's worse than Sidious. It's worse than basically any other Force user list has a better one pip in my mind. And
The
it's good. It is good, but it's
the
not
reason
great.
the reason to me this is up there with those amazing one pips is for the fact that she gets the order from defend. You move twice, you get 2 more dodges, and then she has charge, and then she has Jakar mastery. You put tenacity on her. She has a red die. She has 3 extra white die. And she's guaranteed to add
Turn
3
10.
more hits. And it's dumb. Like it's that's cool. Like any hero can swing, but they're not swinging with 10 dice, and they don't have marksman. So you're stuck with either surge to critting if you have it, surge to hit if you have it. And if you don't surge up, like you're not able to change that with the use of your dodges. Like I think this is when you need to put massive damage on a hero and you're gonna try to trade. This is the card you use. I don't
But
even care if you
that's why I
half
think
speed
like
it.
Son of Skywalker is so much better than this card though, because you're throwing so many more dice and none of them are white. I mean, with this, half your dice, like 10 is a good number. 10's a lot of dice. I love that. 5 of them are white, and I don't love that. You can
But that's why
adjust
you got
dice,
the
but you're going to be
dodges.
wasting those on the whites. Like that's what you're going to be doing. And so it's fine. I think it is fine. It's not great. It's not Son of Skywalker. It's not um what is it implacable? Is that Vader's?
Yeah.
Those are both so much better.
Okay, so here's my take on it. I think Ahsoka is good. I think Legion players kind of get into a trap of comparing units, and I don't like to do that because I think everybody serves its own role in the game or should do its own thing. Like it shouldn't be compared to everybody else. But for that reason, because like I do agree with you, Daniel, like it's not the best one pip out of all the Force users, but like aside from not comparing her to those, I think this is a really good one. Just like you said, Jose, if you give her tenacity and she has a wound, that's 10 dice you're throwing in this one turn. And now aside from
It starts to crit 10 dice.
yeah, and aside from Republic players, like other Force users now don't search to defend. So that's maybe one into the fray they get, and then maybe have one dodge. Like it could potentially kill them.
And
But
even then, she's surging into it's surge crit. So
yeah.
unless they have situation awareness, it's not going to matter.
So overall, Daniel, what do you think? About everything we know about
Uh,
Ahsoka.
I think the hardest part for Ahsoka is that she's in a faction that loves their operatives. Like I'm making lists with rebels. I'm trying to play around with rebels right now, and I always have double operatives, and I don't own Ahsoka. So I feel like it's going to be really hard for her to find a niche where she fits. I was hoping with her command cards we would see that she has like some kind of special role. She doesn't really. She's kind of an all-round force user. One turn she can do some guardian, one turn she can do some damage, one turn she's friends with Sabine. Like all that's kind of like I don't know. Like what you were talking about, like you want people to have a specific role. I feel like Ahsoka doesn't have enough of an identity to kick out any of my favorite operatives. But I don't know. Well, I'm sure she'll fit in some lists and do well. She's force users always do fine.
I think
She is okay.
no, I was just gonna say is one thing I love about Legion, and this is before the Blizzard Force and Dark Meta, is I love the idea that oh, Daniel really likes Bounty Hunter, Nick really likes Rogue One, like I really like my Force users. I love that we can get into a spot where people play lists of what their favorite characters is, as opposed to what's good. And I feel like we
Mhm.
had that before Blizzard Force, and now we're kind of just going back to a meta. And like that's where I feel like Ahsoka's gonna fit in. And people who love Ahsoka is gonna play her, and like I would play her because she's the Force user. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm down with that. But I totally get what you guys are saying. And that's just my opinion.
She So the difference with all that stuff, Daniel playing Bounty Hunters, Nick playing Rogue One, is where the fault with Ahsoka is for me personally, is that when Nick plays Rogue One, everything Cassian, K2, Jin, synergies. Like you can make a Rogue One list and have a 20-point bid and have everything stacked if with full synergy. Same thing with Bounty Hunters. You can have your full synergy and it doesn't matter what faction they're in. Not so much Shadow Collective because I think it's kind of rougher on them.
Mhm.
But Ahsoka doesn't do anything great. She does nothing she does stands out, and she's to me, in my opinion, you to make a list that has synergy with her, you need to pay you need to set aside about 100 points to substantially give her a synergy. For instance, like okay, you want to take rebel troopers with nimble? Okay, cool. They'll have a dodge for one go, eat four, and four over cover if I can hit them for one turn. Okay, cool. If
That's all
snipers
turn.
will mess up. Yeah, no, but hold on. But with snipers will eat that up. So then what do you do to counteract that? You got to pay for a captain. You got to pay for situational awareness. That's already what captain's like what 14 points, and then situational awareness is 6, so 20 points,
Well, see,
right?
so
Captain's 14. Well,
uh,
I think so.
math aside, my whole point is to make her really stand out, you have to invest points into everything around her that basically gives you like a Ahsoka tax. Not and that's not even her points. Like you want to take Sabine, cool. That's the only way that I see that's gonna have any type of pay because you're going to have an aggressive non-force user that's going to take some pressure off of her. And then if you want to mix her with another commander that's not a regular troop rebel commander, Leia could give her an extra speed move with her two pit. But then again, you're paying 90 points for Leia just to give her an extra speed to dash somewhere. Um, like I said, I mean, I don't know.
I,
Guardian, cool. She has Guardian,
I
cool.
think
I'm gonna shoot the troopers, and if you want a Guardian, cheat troopers. If you want a Guardian white save troopers with a expensive red unit, then go for it. If you want to staple 10 points of force barrier on her, cool, go for it. Like 10 points of barrier, that I think that could be better spent somewhere else. Like if you want a Guardian, why not do it with Chewie and save points? Like I just don't see if there's anything in there with her that you can get away with to make her viable without paying a substantial amount of points in taxes.
well, I
I
mean,
think she could be viable just because Force users, she's a fairly cheap Force user, and Force users always, not always, but are very typically worth their weight. I think the problem is more that she's just not exciting. Like you say, to make her exciting, you do have to do one of those other builds. So I feel like she's only gonna like really shine in like 2 builds as opposed to like being an interesting piece on her own.
but I think that's okay. I think that only some lists will go really well with her, and she won't work well with other ones because that's thematic, right? That's why the whole teamwork with Sabine, it really seems like they're pushing for her to be paired with Sabine. And I think there's synergy there with Sabine. I think there's synergy there with Rebel Troopers. And sure, there's a tax because you have to take a captain. But at the same time, like you don't want her to be
Not just
good.
the captain, you got to pay the tax for
I'm talking
situational
about the
awareness.
commander guy, like the
Oh,
generic.
Yeah,
okay,
the
okay.
generic.
But like,
Yeah.
I don't think you want her to be good with the Pathfinders or Jin, because that's not thematic, right? Like it seems like AMG is very thematic in building whatever they want them to synergize well with. So I think that's okay because every faction there's a synergy to some extent. Like you don't see Jin run with I don't know, commandos or what?
I was actually thinking about running Jin with commandos.
Yeah, I
It's
do
a list
that.
I'm
You
throwing
could
around.
yeah, dude, you could totally do that because you get
But I'm saying
complete the mission and all
but
that. Like
in your
she's
opinion,
very flexible.
in your
Commandos.
opinion, like what's better with her, like commandos or pathfinders? You know what I mean?
In my opinion, you go to if you want to maximize full synergy, you got to go, and it sucks because it's a stupid heavy tax. You got to go Ahsoka, you got to go Sabine, and you got to do a Clan Ren. Just those
Nah.
three. Yeah,
No, I think
yeah.
there's a OP Luke and a
So
Ahsoka.
every time Sabine gets a dodge, Clan Ren gets a dodge.
Sure,
You're making two dodges off of
sure,
that,
but I mean,
and Clan Ren is like a powerhouse unit. Like
but
Clan Ren
still,
is the only thing good about Rebel Mandos. Am
It's
I
true.
wrong?
It is
Am
true.
I? You're basically getting an extra hero, a
I,
budgeted hero.
I still think Ahsoka would be good in any list. And for the reason why OP Luke is good in any list, and she's a Force user,
Mm.
and what do Force users do best? They Force push. That's it.
OP
That's
Luke is
all
good in
you
any
need.
list because OP Luke is good in any Rebel list because OP Luke can carry.
So let me
OP
get
Luke
this.
can carry. Also, OP Luke is cheaper than he should be, whereas Ahsoka is either fair or a little bit expensive.
She's too expensive. She's too
How
expensive.
much do you think OP Luke should be at?
He should probably be up there with Op Vader. He should probably be like 205.
Yeah,
Bump him up to
200.
205.
Not even operators at 205.
I
No,
know.
no, they should a baseline for all Force users, and I'm an Anakin player. Baseline for all Force users should be
No,
200.
no, that's
I
You
don't
can
think
win a
that.
game with Force push and
Whoa,
choke alone.
hold on. You're over here arguing that you can win a game with the Force users. This is why my argument is Ahsoka would be good in any list because Force push is so huge. Manipulating the board game is an important thing.
But that's kind
Yeah,
of what I'm
and
disappointed
but she
about is
has
that you're
no.
just
You
Ahsoka
get
is
one more card.
either like you can either run her in a Sabine list or she's just a platform for force push, which is not interesting at all. I was kind of hoping that she'd be able to run a little bit more independent like Op Luke, but I feel like you're not going to get your points unless you run her with a high synergy list.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I could see that. I still think she's good. I just don't think she's the best. Right?
Here's my hot take. Because of where she's at, it's gonna because we're AMG is supposed to be doing more like points adjustments and stuff. Supposedly we're supposed to get a points adjustment soon.
Hopefully,
I'm
not
gonna
today.
go out and say that when Ahsoka drops, she's gonna get next to zero playtime. She's gonna have next to zero competitive playtime. Wait for it. And she's gonna get a very, very generous points cut to make her be able to be taken.
I think that Sabine will get a points cut.
I think
I think that when they drop her, there's going to be a points cut to Sabine around the same time. And
I
that's
think
going to be
she's
how they kind of make her
fine.
viable. Because Sabine's a little expensive right now.
I think
Mm.
Ahsoka's better than Mando.
That's probably true. But I love Mando. Mando's thematic and fun, and he doesn't need me to pay like 300 points to make him viable. He just does it on his own. Like, oh, here's my 150 point bounty hunter. He's just kind of doing stuff. I
Here's
don't
my
know.
here's my command card that I could deal potentially no wounds or potentially 12 wounds.
And I honestly think you're going to see her competitively, only for the fact that people want to play her. That's just it. Like, there's going to be
Also,
diehard
just because
Ahsoka fans.
she force push is always viable. So
Always.
honestly, double force push for rebels. I think you'll see Op Luke,
Mhm.
I don't think you
Ahsoka
see her
lists.
competitively.
I don't think they'll do
Ooh,
super
you wanna
well,
put some
but
money
I
on
think
that?
you'll see it.
Because you take what you want to win. Like, well, like I said, have you
Okay, Bay
have you
open.
listened to have you no, I'm saying people will take her.
Oh, I don't
It's not gonna be prevalent. It's like
Jared's
people
gonna
take
take her
Dooku.
to our invite event.
People take Dooku to competitive lists. Yeah, they do take them. Like one out
Dooku
of
does
40
well.
CI. Yeah, but Dooku's Dooku. He mastered the Force, all this stuff. Like the stuff that makes Force users viable, Ahsoka doesn't have. You can tell me a Force push is impactful. Great, cool. If I can get you to burn a Force push after that recover card, I could live with that. Whereas if Dooku Force pushes, I got to worry about that the rest of the game
You're
because he's
falling
close up
for
to
the
Force
same
push. He's
trap.
gonna keep.
The same trap is comparing units. Like, we could literally just sit here and say, like, if you don't bring Dark Troopers, you shouldn't bring anything
But
at all.
comparing units is how you decide what prices should be. So based on her 165 price point, I have to compare that to something. I'm comparing it to Luke because I'm saying she's way more than 30 points worse.
Yeah.
Because she's not doing. He has a disengage and a force push every single turn. She
Yes.
has
He also
one
has
of
6
those
command
twice.
cards. It's
So it's just
And
it's
and
it's
and we're
hard.
comparing force users. I'm not saying, hey, I'm comparing Ahsoka to Mando. I'm not comparing Ahsoka to a bounty hunter. I'm comparing Ahsoka to the counterpart of the class she's in, which is a force user. Force push, force powers across the board. She's just not great. Like I said, I mean, if you have to burn an act, like I said, I keep going back to this well, but if you have to burn an action, an action to recover outside of when you want to, that's a net positive for me.
I
Whereas it's not
honestly,
a net positive with anybody else. With Vader, yeah, you have to kind of think about what force power you're going to use because he has Master of Force too. But the fact is, he has Master of the Force, so I could live with one. Once I'm in and I only need Force push and choke, I could leave that barrier untapped the rest of the game. Would you want to like? I don't know. She's just
I,
bad. She's
I
I
feel like
honestly,
honestly, if
she's only
this
better than
exact
Commander Luke.
Ahsoka was for Republic instead of Rebels, and the reunion card was for her and Anakin, I think she'd be fine because Republic doesn't have a solid operative, but Rebels do. So
I think
she
we're.
has to be compared to Op Luke because that's your other Jedi option. And I'll always find the extra 30 points to bring an Op Luke instead, unless I'm doing something fun and thematic. But
I
yeah.
Gar is
competitively,
gonna get based off of this Ahsoka profile. Gar is gonna definitely get young Padawan Ahsoka, and I think she's gonna be worse. It's gonna be the same thing, except
She's gonna have all white
where,
attack dice.
where no. What I'm saying is like I'm saying my opinion is you bring Ahsoka and Rebels, you are stuck bringing Sabine. Period. I love Anakin, but I don't mind playing Anakin by himself. I feel like when they bring Padawan Ahsoka for Gar, you're gonna have to bring Anakin every time because she's just gonna be trash without him.
But I think that's okay, right? I think
I think
that
that is fine.
yeah, like same thing with Ahsoka. This Ahsoka now is like they want you to run her with Sabine thematically. Like you don't have to just run her by herself and be like, this should carry me the game. She shouldn't be like OP Luke because there should only be an OP Luke in the Rebels that can carry a game, right? That's what Maul in CIS.
A
That's
lot of Force users can carry the game though.
but
I
Harder,
feel
some
like
harder than
yeah.
others. Like
yeah,
like for instance, Darth Maul is not operative Luke, but Darth Maul in his Darth Maul ways can put a game on his back. Vader in a different way, more blendery than Luke and Maul, can put a game on his back. Obi, by just merely being there with barrier, can put a game on his back. All Force users can put games on their back.
I
Just
disagree
some
with
do it
Obi.
easier than most.
I disagree with
I
Obi.
do think Obi's the exception. I think Obi and now Ahsoka are the two that really can't carry a game.
But that's like I think in my what I'm saying is that there should only be one force user that should carry the back of each faction, right? There shouldn't be like multiple of those. So you went over OP Luke and Rebels, Darth Vader in Empire, Maul in CIS, and then Gar. You got
Vader's the
Anakin,
only
you
one
got
in
Yoda.
Empire.
Like I think
No,
Republic is the only one that you can like have multiple Jedi that could carry it on the back because they're the Republic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're mostly Jedi.
Yeah. So like I feel like that's okay. We shouldn't always have these carriers.
But then I want her to be closer to like a 155 price point.
Right.
160 is just a lot. It's just a lot.
Like I look
she
at
doesn't feel like we talk about thematics. When I watch Ahsoka in media, like Clone Wars is the best example. Ahsoka jumping out of the lat, clawing all that crap on the way down, just smashing everything. Like
we're not
when she
going
fights Vader, that's no. But when she fights Vader, that's climactic. That's her taking on a Sith Lord, or when she takes on Maul, like those thematic, aggressive Ahsoka, like badass Ahsoka. I look at this Ahsoka and I'm like, nah.
I think
Like it's not thematic for me
you know what
personally.
it is? I think you guys are secretly CIS players and you want your Sith users to do what the Jedi's or what you want your Jedi to do what the Sith do, and that's just not their place.
No, I just mean like everything you watch when you watch Clone Wars, Ahsoka's battling Grievous, she's battling Maul, she's
No.
battling
Well,
Vader,
we
she's
haven't seen the
battling
Ahsoka
everybody.
show yet. Maybe she's gonna just
That's
suck
what I'm
at fighting,
thinking. Like,
and this will all make sense.
yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, even the Sabine card, the Sabine's in the Ahsoka show, so I'm assuming that's where they went from. But I'm just
I
saying,
am
like,
glad that they don't go off the show as much.
Like-
Like, don't get me wrong, there's some elements of the show in them, but I'm glad it's not like full heartedly because like the Clone Wars, bro, that's a kid's show. Like Grievous gets beat by Gungans. Like, oh, that made me so mad. when I
Grievous
saw-
would get beat by Gungans and Legion.
No, he wouldn't.
You know when Gungans come out, they're gonna have a card.
They're gonna-
or something like that.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
card, there's
Words.
gonna be card art that has Grievous being captured by the Gungans.
I'm
You
telling
know it's gonna
you.
happen.
Grievous is
Oh.
thematic. He's terrible in Legion, like he's terrible in the shows.
No, I don't
That's
think
true.
I don't think he's that terrible. I just think he'd get outplayed by other
You
kids.
should run him.
I will run him. I will
He
run
did
him.
run him.
I run him a lot. And back
He
in the
hasn't
day.
run him since he lost scale. It's so much worse.
That's true. Okay.
It's
I
so
agree.
bad.
I
It
agree
is
with
so
you.
bad.
I agree with you. Yeah, the scale part.
Make scale great again.
Yes. Yeah.
He can now only jump as well as Vader.
Oh,
Him and
don't
Vader,
worry about it.
opposite
Vader
speed.
jumps better.
Can you imagine? Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
I will say Ahsoka, I think you label versus speed on her. I think that's just the one Jedi that force user that you do.
You're gonna pay a 10-point tax to go fast,
I think it's support. She wants to be in there.
and then
I
a
think that's
10-point.
lot.
Yeah,
It is a
Here-
lot.
so
it is
you-
a lot, but I think you have.
You're 20 points in force powers, like on a was she 165?
165. Yeah.
So in 2 force powers alone, you have
That's
her
20.
at 185.
Oh
like,
gosh.
yeah,
I'm not
dude, it
paying
gets
that.
worse. 185 and Luke naked is still OP. Luke naked is still better than that.
I've been
Like,
running-
It's,
force users without burst of speed, and honestly, it's hard to close the gap. It's getting harder.
You
and
know what
harder
you
to
do?
close the gap.
You bring an AA5. Just sit it right in the middle.
no,
Everyone runs up.
land
It's been
speeder.
Super effective. It's
Put her in
crazy.
a land speeder.
Well,
put
you
put her in
know-
a land speeder, Jr. Put her in a land speeder.
There's only 2 factions that can do that. All the other ones kind of suffer, in my opinion.
That's true. AA5s.
This
AA5s
has
fine.
win.
been your
fine.
Ahsoka hot takes, brought to you in part by the Lost Legion.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll move on from her. I think she's all right, but I respect you guys' opinions.
I think she is just mediocre. I think she'll be fine, honestly. But
Yeah.
she'll be like
She's
Mando,
like Jin.
where she's
Yeah.
not
she's fun.
taking games,
She'll be-
but she's fine.
yeah, I think she's like Mando too. It's fun, it's thematic. She's got some cool tricks,
But not super competitive.
Yeah.
she's a pickup game unit.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to some games. I know you guys haven't played any games recently. I've actually give you some synopsis, playing a lot of games with one of our new locals, Rob. We've been playing a lot of TTS, and he's running a amazing Dark Trooper list. He's running it with Kitted Out Dark Trooper with Royal Guards.
1 or 2.
One with Royal Guards with Protector, and then Pout. And then his cores usually have like Stormtroopers with something, and he has Bosk as well. And he plays this list so good that I've actually struggled against it. Because so what I was been trying to practice for Bay Open is 3 steps with 1 HQ uplink, 2 link target and raise, 3 B1s with the rocket, 1 T series with electro binoculars and improvised order, and then I'm running Cad Bane with his kit, and then a Saj with Into the Fray, Defensive Stance, Force Choke, and Force Push. It's only 9 acts, but like it's been doing really good. I've been enjoying it a lot. I don't know if it's gonna win any tournaments because man, every time I face Rob with these Dark Troopers, like it's just so hard to kill these Dark Troopers. Like I've been winning, but at the same time, it's not like it's not like a landslide. It's like it's come down to like a dice roll or something. Because like what he likes to do is, and I think it's smart, is you pull the strings on the Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
Line in wait, you pull the string on Boss to shoot twice with all those bunch of aims. And then anything gets close, and now you die. Like it's just so good. So yeah, so I've been playing a lot, practicing with Rob, really great player. So that brings me to my question, like, what do we do to nerf the Dark Troopers, guys? I'm a little salty at this point.
I still haven't played against Dark Troopers, so my life's good.
Well, Daniel, whenever we get a game in, I'll run them for you because there's
No, yeah, I want to try against him. I feel like the Rocket Troopers, those aren't enough of a response. I guess you only have 3.
Well, the problem is
You're
that
The
The
red
Dark-
save and the armor.
the RG, and he also runs guidance on Palp, so no force push. He does run anger. So what he essentially does is, if I shoot at the darks, whatever gets through, he guardians 2 off of the IRG. Then the IRG go, they just recover, right? And then if I shoot at darks again, he just does the same thing. He force barriers for the darks, and then he guidance the darks and IRG. So now they surge on the guardian and surge on the defense rolls. and it's not enough impact. It's impact 6 and then critical 2 on the stab, so that's critical 6, and then impact 2 on the Saj, surge to crit on CAD. It's just, if I get lucky, like if I could focus them, then I feel like I might get it, but it's like spending a lot of turns on just that. And he's got to fail the dice in the first place. But the way he plays it, it's like you're not going to be able to shoot at. If you can shoot at the darts, then that means that's 3 times he can shoot at you in one turn. Which is
Yeah.
Have you thought about because if you darks are going to be prevalent no matter where you go. My opinion on the darks is they're either going to stay where they're at or they're never going to get played because points costs. I don't see anything happening in the faction.
I think you
What
just see
about
this around the
running?
faction.
What about running? Do you ever think about double snail with B2 rockets?
Well, the
Because
problem
then the
is,
snail has ion.
well, the problem is that I really want to run Asajj. Like, I don't think Asajj is.
That's your problem.
Well, yeah, it is my problem because I don't think
know.
Asajj is a carrier to win you a tournament, right? But I just want to have fun at a tournament.
Didn't
right?
you body an entire Dark Trooper unit with Asajj when you played Roman?
But I rolled really good. Like those were above average rolls.
You Jakard up. You didn't roll good. You Jakard up.
No, I got natural crits and then I Jakard up and like it just deleted everything. And he rolled, Roman, he's so notorious for rolling bad dice. But like I want to run Asajj, and the list I have now synergizes so well. It pretty much the T series gives out the orders, gets it back, and then you pop HP uplink for the stabs. So now both my bounty hunters are in the bag, and they both get their independence. So Cabian has comm relay just in case the sapper close by, gives it to them.
Have you got any of those games on a map wide enough where you could just send the stabs on a flank and just flank Palpatine from behind?
Oh no!
It seems like the problem is Palpatine.
It's not that it's Palpatine. It's Palpatine, Darks, IRG, and Boss, right?
Yeah, but the main you just said a strategy was pulling the strings on these powerful things. It seems like on a wide map you should be able to get behind and
No,
get
because
Palpatine down.
if you're in range of Palpatine, that means you're in range of the Dark Troopers. And guess what the Dark Troopers shoot? And then I'm also running a white safe faction. Like if it was a red safe faction, maybe, but white saves aren't reliable. And
Right.
like they're just deleting things left and right. And yeah, it's like I said, I think my skills alone are what's winning me the game, which should be the case, but it's definitely not my saves or my hits. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't want to nerf the darks because it costs so much already. I think you nerf the factions.
I think you could nerf the darks, but I think it might be something like giving them armor 3 instead of giving them full armor or something like that.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the problem is you can't force that many saves on red dice, right? That's why the big tanks are always so hard to bring down, right? The AAT and the Saber are really hard to bring down because they have the red saves behind the armor. If you changed it where you didn't have to push so many saves through or so many crits through, I think that might level it a little bit, right?
I think
I
you're
don't
right.
know though. I'm just kind of spitballing.
I think you're right. Honestly, I think that would be the way to go. Honestly, I want to say armor 2 would solve the problem.
Does he run
Armor 2
Protector?
though, you gotta remember armor 2 means they only have heavy cover. That's just
true.
like having heavy
Yeah,
cover
you're
all the
right.
time.
You're right.
So
Armor
I would
3
say
would be
armor
better.
3 just so it's something.
Yeah.
Because you've already taken away their cover.
Yeah,
Does
that's
he
true.
does
That's
he
true.
run Protector on the I probably did
Yeah, on IRG. So like it's a good combo and it's really good. And I think I want him to go to Bay Open with it because I think it does really well. But it's so strong that it just at times when you shoot at them and he just saves, you're just like, why did I waste my shot on that?
Sounds to me like you need some good old fashioned GAR
Pierce?
RPS fire
Oh.
supports.
I could just bring 6B1s with the rocket if I really wanted to. Maybe I will, but kind of like the Staps thing I got going on because Staps I think are still really good.
You think
Stabs are
nobody at
good,
Bay
but
Area?
stabs are fragile, so they
Yeah.
are rough in a matchup against like dark troopers.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you don't
That's
think
true.
there's gonna be more like it's weird to see a single dark trooper list because like everybody's running them in 2 ofs.
Mhm.
And you're going to Bay Area Open. Is there a Worlds invite on the line? Because if there's a Worlds invite on the line, I'm pretty sure the Dark Trooper players there are going to be running 2 ofs. And
I'm
that's if you're having a problem with one,
Yeah.
You're not even seeing 2. Like
But
One
the-
with IRG is pretty similar to 2 though, and how many saves you have to force to bring them down.
To be honest, though, if you're running 2, like the rest of your army is just like nothing. Like you don't
Yeah.
have anything. So like pretty
You're
much
not running
Palpatine-
2 in Palp.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly though, I might just do the 6B1s. We'll see what happens. But yeah, they're very fragile.
I mean, in the world that we're in right now with Dark Troopers, you have to, because I'm already thinking ahead to, like I said, I'm not too sure if I'm going to do Bay Area, but I know I want to actually go to a couple more events than other than LVO, and I'm already on board my list building of I hate ATRT or I hate ATRTs, but we live in a world of Dark Troopers. I hate RPSs because cumbersome. We live in a world with Dark Troopers. Like I have a list with Cody, 5 RPS phase 1s, and 3 ion or 3 cannon RTs. Impact like 15, something like that, just for that. Like, and it's annoying because it's like it's either bring that or not bring it and run into that. So
Well, honestly,
it
hopefully
sucks.
we get some rules changes or nerfs and everything and buffs before that. But I mean, I just hate nerfing good units. And even though I think Dark Troopers are really good and they need that nerf, it's just I like them thematically and what they do. Like
They are
supposed to-
thematic. They are very thematic.
I think they lose the red die and melee because holy cow. Even if I throw a force user in them, they just whomp it. It's just like there's no answer to these guys.
Well, you're only doing impact 2.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things, but all right, guys, we'll move on. I got some rules questions for you. Couple interesting ones. I'm playing payload. Can I make a barricade my objective?
hmm
I thought you couldn't do that anymore.
What do you think, Jose?
Did they change it where you couldn't do that anymore? I don't remember hearing anything about that. I just assumed you could because the rule for payload. I mean, unless they ratted the card again, the rule
I
for
thought in the
payload
new
is
rule book that they defined barricades as something that wasn't,
yeah.
you couldn't
No,
assign tokens to it.
I
So-
didn't ever remember reading that.
I could be wrong.
So Daniel is wrong. Not just kidding. Daniel's right.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you have me there. It's like, well, yeah, okay. I guess
I-
What?
I just
yeah,
misremembered.
me and Rob were playing the game, and somebody had came in to spectate, and he's just like, "Yeah, you can't do barricades." Like, oh, what? Really? He's like, "Yeah, cool." I remembered after he said it because it changed, but all these
When
new
did-
rules, they changed in the
With
new
the new rule book.
rules. Yeah, honestly, now that I'm playing,
It's
with
because
the
it's
new
a
rules,
different type of terrain now, right?
Yeah,
No,
I think so.
I think it's just classified like you just can't. Put
I
it
think they
in.
specifically called out barricades as
Yeah.
yeah.
What's interesting is I'm finding out all these new rules now with the new rules because like it's just a lot. But anyways, if Luke plays You Serve Your Master Well and chooses an enemy unit that's suppressed, and that enemy unit target his other friendly unit that has incognito but is not in range 1 of the incognito unit.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
As stated by Serve Your Master Well, if it is an enemy unit, it can attack and start a melee with other enemy units. As the attack and defender remain enemy to Luke Skywalker and friendly to one another, an attack made between them will not be affected by the incognito keyword. Yeah. So you don't lose incognito, but you do get attacked by it.
Interesting.
One of my favorites. Can deflect get a bounty? Now that we have
Can
a force
deflect
user-
get a bounty? Oh yeah, that's new.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
new, right?
why would that ever happen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a new though.
I'm gonna say yeah, because you're dealing the damage.
What do you think, Jose?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of any way of collecting bounties
Yeah.
though. So
This is
Yeah, you kind of gotta at this point, and they should. Any way you can get a bounty, you gotta take
I
it.
think if you have line of sight to the target and the target dies, you're calling that your bounty, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I was here, he's dead. Good enough.
Or what about this? I was thinking about this the other day. Bounty, they could change it to where your bounty target, whoever kills it, it drops a bounty token, and it
Oh,
still
like
gives
Grogu.
you it gives
Yeah.
you the opportunity to waddle over there to see if you can grab it. They
But
But
can't
then
grab it.
if you're the bounty
No, no.
hunter and you shoot, because like Bosk likes collecting bounties from very far away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
He doesn't
I'm
want to
saying,
go
like,
collect
you
bounties.
got. But I'm saying, like, more times than not, you try to get a little bit more and you kill it.
I don't know what you're
So
talking about.
I just think that if you were able to just drop a token that you're playing JR, you body Dooku, the token falls, he can't pick the token up. The token's just stuck where it's at. But if you want the bounty, it's still there for you to get it versus you not having zero chance of getting it.
Yeah,
No.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
I like this change. Though. I like that the bounty can't.
It's like picking up a
dropped to
corpse.
We're
like-
gonna remake
yeah.
the bounty rules.
Yeah. All right, and the last one. Okay, so you're shooting at somebody, single guy. You want to kill it, but you also want to suppress at the same time. If worst case scenario, you roll a die, you get a hit, but you don't get the crit because it's behind heavy cover. But if you kill it, it really goes in your favor. But at the same time, if you suppress it, it's like a 50-50, right? So you decide to re-roll the hit to try to get that crit, but then you get a blank. Does that unit get a suppression?
No.
No, because you already hit the hit, so technically that would qualify for adding suppression, but you're chancing the reroll to try to up your dice outcome. So technically, it's like that first hit didn't happen, and you're taking the second shot to try to do what you need to do. So I would assume no.
You get it both wrong. You do.
You get a
Really?
suppression?
I found this
Yeah?
out in my game with Rob when the
That's so
spectator-
dumb.
Here,
That is
I'll-
so
I'm,
dumb.
I'm gonna read
I
it.
hate
I'm
that.
gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. to
You gamble,
I'm gonna read it.
and I still suffer.
This is in the new. This is in the new rules. Okay, it's on page 32. Assign suppression token to defender.
Line 4.
After resolving steps 1 through 9 of the attack sequence, if there were any hits or crit results in the attack pool during the roll attack die step of the attack sequence, and the attack was a range attack, the defending unit gains 1 suppression token.
That gives you no gamble.
So
like
dumb.
Yeah, I
if-
found
if-
this out. I was
if-
blown away.
if
I was
you
This
blown
has been
away.
kill-
confirmed by the forums.
I don't think the forums, because when I asked him to confirm that, he told me page 27 for the shows the roll attack die step, and then he said page 32. So
it's so dumb because like the defender gets all kinds of cool things to get out of it. Like when I'm shooting you, no, I don't get to pick what side of the silhouette I'm looking at. You get to pick the worst spot for me. Like it's dumb. And then now it's like you can live with the suppression, you prefer the kill. But you gamble for the kill and that you still win either way. Like that's
as written,
dumb.
as this is written that I'm reading off of it right now, it literally says that if it were like anytime there was a hit, you automatically get that suppression. I was just like, wow, that's crazy. So yeah.
My excitement for Shatterpoint went to 20. This is bullshit.
Jose's just excited to try a different game. Screw this.
It's so dumb.
right?
Because that suppression could have a big impact on the game. Like
Yeah.
if you suppress him,
yeah.
if you suppress this one rebel trooper who's about to count for a KP, but you'd rather kill it just to make sure there's no shot, like, and you whiff that, like I should be able to score. You whiffed it, like.
I agree.
But not only do you whiff it, I still get the suppression. I might still lose even though you took the gamble.
Well, there is hope. It's not clarified in the forums. No one's asked yet, but as it's written, that's what it says.
JR likes this word. He's not going to ask.
I'm not going to ask. No, I probably will ask. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But
It's so dumb.
anyways, all right, boys. Well, thank you guys for joining me. There's you guys' Legion news for the week. Yeah. So now you know if you re-roll and you get a blink, they still get that suppression.
The more you know.
All right, boys. See you guys later.